Hi guys, I'm Jay living in Seoul. Today I'm gonna talk about Paldo Gangsan, released in October 2013. After media such as TV and radio developed, the distinction of dialects gradually have decreased. However, in this song, different dialects are used pretty strongly while expressing its characteristics distinctively. So even Korean armies also have struggled to interpret the lyrics. There are so many things to deal with, including the characteristics of the dialect itself, the various ways of interpreting them, and the cultural background for them. So I guess it would be better to make two videos in a series by dividing it into Gyeongsang-do, the hometown of Yoongi, Taeyong, Jimin, and Jungkook, and Jeollado, the hometown of Hoseok. Then today I'm gonna talk about Gyeongsang-do part first. So let's get started. Paldo Gangsan includes North Korea. 강원부터 경상도, 충청도부터 전라도. First of all, I need to start by explaining the title of the song. Along with Paldo Gangsan, another nickname of the song is Satoori rap, which means dialect rap. Then what is Paldo Gangsan? Gang is river and San is mountain. 70% of Korean peninsula is said to be mountainous, and rivers flow between the mountains. That's why Koreans call the Korean peninsula Gangsan. Then what is Paldo? Pal is the number 8, and Do means an administrative district, province. Today's history of the name Republic of Korea is not long, but the history of Koreans' ancestors on the Korean peninsula is long, and their language and culture still have a lot of influence on modern Koreans. The name of the last kingdom was Joseon, which was established in 1392, and there were 8 administrative districts at that time. The 8 are 평안도, 함경도, 황해도, 경기도, 강원도, 충청도, 전라도, and 경상도. For this reason, Korean ancestors have called the Korean peninsula Paldo Gangsan. In this state, the Korean peninsula was divided into South and North, and both of North and South Korea still use the names till now. Despite the division of Korean peninsula, South Koreans still called their land Paldo Gangsan, but usually it just refers to South Korea now. The title of the song is Paldo Gangsan, but count the number of provinces in the song: 서울, 강원도, 경상도, 충청도, 전라도. Look, you can only find 5 regions of South Korea, and there are different representative dialects. Among them, the dialects of Seoul and Gyeonggi-do are almost the same, and it has been designated as the standard language, 표준어. In the case of BTS, Namjoon and Seokjin are from Seoul and Gyeonggi-do. Hoseok is from Jeollado, and Yoongi, Taeyong, Jimin, and Jungkook are from Gyeongsang-do. So this song is largely composed of Jeollado, Gyeongsang-do, and Seoul dialects. Now let's take a look at some of the basic characteristics and the meaning of Gyeongsang-do dialect, or the background of some expressions. Ma is very Gyeongsang-do. Unlike other regions, they often put ma when they start speaking.
공부 안 하나? 학창 시절 뭐 했노 너? 지금 나오네. 반말하지 마라. 아니 마 나왔나?
Here ma can be hey or what. Sometimes it means then or anyway to wrap up the talk. It's a kind of filler. It fills in the sentences and changes the mood. If you want to learn Gyeongsang-do dialect, one of the essential words that you have to learn is 머라카노. If you say this, everyone will probably say that you are good at Gyeongsang-do dialect. It means what did you say? If you say in Seoul style, it goes like 뭐라고 했어? So can you feel the difference? 갱상도카모 신라의 화랑 후예들이 계속해서 자라나고. Here too, they start the sentence with ma. It is a sign that they start to talk anew. And can you see that Gyeongsang-do is written differently here? They pronounce Gyeongsang-do as 갱상도. 카모 is a Gyeongsang-do dialect that corresponds to 라고 하면, which means if you say like this, or when it comes to this. 신라 is the name of a country based in Gyeongsang-do in the past, and it lasted almost 1,000 years from 57 BC to 935 AD. Hwarang is a group that selects and trains intelligent and healthy boys or young men, and excellent appearance was also an important factor for selection. It served as an educational institution that fostered future officers or soldiers. It is the Hwarang that Taeyong acted in the drama before. Hwa means flower, and Rang means boy and young man. Since it is recorded that their beauty was outstanding, the drama producers also extensively cast handsome young men, especially from K-pop boy bands too. The beauty may have been similar to today's K-pop boy bands. Seeing that descendants of Hwarang continues to grow seems to say that people in the area are not only intelligent and healthy, but even excellent in appearance. Since it is Taehyung's hometown, and he is handsome and has a good physique, I think Taehyung would have been a real Hwarang if he was born in that era. In 2019, when they sang this song again in Muster, Taehyung once said, "한성 안녕." Hi Hansung, his name in the drama Hwarang.
사투리하모 갱상도 아이가 구수하고 정겨운게 딱
Another characteristic of Gyeongsang-do dialect is adding ga to sentence endings.
이건 바위가 유럽죠.
너희들 보고 싶어 죽는 줄 알았다 이거.
맞다 아이가 is used instead of 맞지, 그렇지 않아? 아니야? It's a tag question asking like, don't you think so?
가가 이런 말은 하나 갱상도는 억시다고
가가 is also a question asking if that guy is that guy. Another characteristic of Gyeongsang-do dialect is the use of intonation. In Korean, intonation generally does not determine the meaning much. However, in Gyeongsang-do dialect, intonation often implies more meaning. So even though the dialect is much more abbreviated than other regions, it still conveys enough meaning. One of the representative cases is 가가. If you say this in Seoul dialect, it goes like 그 애가 그 애야. It means is that guy that guy? Now listen to this one. 가가. What do you think this means? It means is his family name 가? When you want to say this in Seoul dialect, it goes like 그 애의 성씨는 가시니? Can you see how efficiently it has been abbreviated using intonation? To be more specific, even within Gyeongsang-do, dialects vary from region to region. It is largely divided into Daegu part, northern Gyeongsang-do, the hometown of Yoongi and Taehyung, and Busan, southern part, the hometown of Jimin and Jungkook. So in Daegu dialect, it sounds like 가가. 이런 말은 안 와. But in Busan dialect, it sounds like 가가. 이런 말은 안 와. Did you catch the difference between them? The funny thing about these lyrics here is that they ask if Gyeongsang-do dialect sounds wild. Gyeongsang-do is famous for its strong and wild accent, and this dialect sounds very wild. It is the laughing point of the lyrics to ask back in a very tough way as if it is absurd.
누가 그 카노 머라케샀노
This time, both end with no. As mentioned earlier, these are questions because no is attached. Both include interrogative words like 누가, who, or 뭐, what. 누가 그카노 means who said like that. In Seoul dialect, it's like 누가 그렇게 말했어? 머라케샀노 means what are you babbling? In Seoul dialect, it goes like 뭐라고 해야 되는 거야?
뭐라노?
Sentences in Gyeongsang-do dialect often end with no. It is used only when it is a question with an interrogative word. Actually, many of Koreans other than Gyeongsang-do do not know this.
갱상도 정하모 아나바다 같은거지 뭐
정하모 is 정하면, and it means when it comes to. Here, 면 is pronounced as mo. 아나바다 is an abbreviation of saving, sharing, exchanging, and reusing. In the Suga's lyrics in Cypher 2, you can see 아나바다, and I've already explained about it too. There, he used it to mock the haters, but here it means simplicity and folksy. Gyeongsang-do people are famous for being rough and blunt. They speak short and fast. They are also famous for their poor expression of their feelings. So even if they help people kindly with a warm heart, they don't express it in words or facial expressions. They try to keep what they said once, and even if something unfair happens, they don't reverse it or explain it in detail. The fact that Yoongi said he wouldn't say it twice is also an expression of their hometown style. In Gyeongsang-do dialect, sometimes sentences end with gyo. This is also asking something. So no, ga, and gyo, all of them are interrogative sentence endings, while no and ga are non-honorifics, but gyo is a sort of honorifics. They seem to be showing all kinds of their dialects. 하모하모 is a word that means sure, and it is to respond and agree with others.
아주라 홈런입니다. 아주라
제3지역의 서울입니다.
Ajura is a very unique expression. In Seoul dialect, it is 아이에게 줘라, and it means give it to the child. So where does this phrase come from? It's a phrase from a baseball stadium in Busan. When foul ball or home run balls came out, people shouted at the person who received the ball to give it to the child next to them. In particular, it was the culture of fans of a team called the Latte Giants, but it is so famous that everyone knows about the culture. At first, it started with goodwill, but later it turned into compulsion. 우리가 남인교 is 우리가 남입니까? In Seoul dialect, and it means are we strangers? It means that we're not strangers, so we have to help and support each other. It's very kind and warm, right? But this was sometimes used to be used badly. It was ever used to overlook and condone injustice and corruption in the past. Actually, the lyrics express the sense of community or belonging. Perhaps you know that Korean society values the community. Yeah, there's a tendency like that. Such a tendency was more evident in the past or outside of Seoul. It is generally meaningful to value the community, but sometimes it harms individual rights or the whole society. So the lyrics seem to boast their region, but at the same time, they are making fun of themselves. That's not to disparage, but it's more of a joke. That's it for today. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about 전라도 dialect. Please watch the next video too. If you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and set the notification. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.